Hi guys, and as always a huge welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to kick off this video by saying a huge thank you to all of you out there. 106 subscribers, so we've flown past the 100 subscriber milestone and here we are. So of course this is above and beyond anything I could have imagined when starting the channel. I wanted to do this to be a voice for us suffering from Alopecia Barbae. I noticed there are videos on YouTube, there are some channels that talk about this, but there wasn't really anyone updating and uploading frequently and giving you guys updates. So what I wanted to do is jump into that empty space and provide a voice for any of you guys experiencing this along with me. So thank you so much guys, I truly do appreciate that. So yeah, that brings me on to this video now. So, to shave or not to shave, that's today's question. So this is really a response. I've had a few comments in the past, people asking, is it okay to shave? If you get those vellus white hairs in those affected areas, is it going to do more damage shaving them off? Are they going to grow back? My answer, again, always comes from a place of personal experience. That's what I'm here for, just to tell you guys what I've gone through and to hopefully give you more of an idea of what to expect. Of course, it does differ from case to case, person to person, but for me personally, go for it. Shave as much as you want. This is what you're seeing now, my regrowth and more of a semblance of a beard. This is a result of shaving, letting it grow, shaving, letting it grow, just constantly really. So from the get-go, you remember that I mentioned at work, I had people instantly calling me out on the beard, you know, what the hell's this, and things like that. Well, that was really what prompted my first shave. So, of course, to stop comments like that, I was just thinking this thing is now very noticeable. I'm just going to save the hassle and just shave it completely off. So that was really the first time shaving. And if you do remember me telling you, my patches that I had were red, so they were discoloured. So even when I shaved completely all of the stubble, all of the beard away, it was still quite obvious that there was something not quite right, something going on. So just wanted to tell you guys, I always mention, because I like to take into account everyone at different stages of this condition. Some of you have been messaging me lately, you've just recently got your first patches the size of a quarter, and they are extremely smooth, there's no hair whatsoever, so you're not going to have those tiny white vellus hairs in there quite yet. That is something that comes a few months later. So this is really what I'm alluding to here. When I talk about vellus hairs, the white hairs, I'm talking about anyone getting to that point of this condition where you've got those hairs, you don't really know what to do, you don't know if they're going to get coarse and go dark, you don't know whether to shave them off completely. Well, as I said, I'm saying go for it guys, you've got nothing to lose, you're already having the condition, there's already those circular patches. And for those of you, those new sufferers, what you are going to notice over the next few months, it is unfortunately going to get worse. So I'm not saying it to obviously worry anyone or scare anyone, I'm just letting you know this thing does get a lot worse before you start to see any progress. So a video I'm going to do very soon will show you a timeline of my journey. So I'm going to show you some of those photos from the very first patch I noticed, the circular patch, to how it looked a few months later. And the reason for that, I just want to give you guys a timeline, so what to expect. So it's just to give you guys an idea of that timeline. So for me personally, so I'm going to post the date, the year, just so you guys know what point and what stage I was at. And then you can look at me here now on these videos with a lot of regrowth, just to show you it really does get better. It just does not happen overnight. So coming back to this video guys, I'm going to give you an insight into my techniques, my routine, what I use to shave. It's not just as simple as having a wet razor. I'm going to show you the equipment I use, and just if any of you are curious, you know, what I've been doing to maintain a healthy beard, or at least longer stubble at this point. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I have a few things to show you. So first of all, you're going to want one of these. This is a multi-length stubble trimmer. So this is a Philips, this particular model, but it can be any model as long as you've got this dial here. And what this dial is going to do is just change the guard on this and give you a different length in millimeters. So at this point I'm about 4.5 millimeters, that's what I use as the trim. You can obviously let it get a lot longer, this is going to do up to 10 millimeters. You're going to get an all-over consistent look depending on which setting you choose on your dial here in millimeters. So yeah, that really is something I will say is just essential to have. It sits on a little dock and charges, completely battery powered, so you don't have to worry about going through razors. Self-sharpening blades as well, that's a nice feature. So honestly, this thing's just going to keep going and going. So the next shaver I want to show you is almost a travel size one. It's just got this little sideburn trimmer on it at the moment. But the beauty of this thing is you can get into those hard to reach places just to shape it up a little. It goes right down, so it's basically the shaver I just showed you without a guard on it. And another good feature is you can just take away that head and switch it out for one like this, which is like a little fine tuner. And again, I'm not too picky on how it looks. I mean, I haven't got much of a beard. I haven't had much of a beard since 2018. So for me, it's kind of a novelty to have, but it's just good if you just want to clear up the bits around the mouth and just kind of get more of a smarter look. So this is really not an essential, I would say, but it's definitely handy to have, especially this head here, which is really good for the sideburns, good for the moustache area, and just good for shaping up the sides here around the jaw as well. So yeah, that's just a great one to have. This is a Conair, just travel size. Again, just really handy, runs on 1 AA battery. So yeah, pretty good to have. And then this is just your basic wet razor. This is just, again, this really is an essential. And this is just good for getting those sides just as close as you can possibly get them. Again, good for just tidying up around the edge. So you've all seen these. They're just very, very cheap, very reliable razors. And I'm at the point now where I don't have to put any shaving cream on. I just run this under the tap and just go along the sides. Just the cheeks here just are used to that. Don't ever get any cuts. Just go along the direction of your hair. So between these three items, it's really just a good overall routine. So between the multi-length stubble trimmer, the travel-sized shaper, and then just the wet razor, put them together, it's the holy trinity of beard shaving. So how about after you've shaved? Well, personally I use a moisturizer here. This is for 3-day beards. Again, nothing fancy, just a L'Oreal Hydra Energetic. It's just very refreshing. So this one, nothing too fancy, just specifically for 3-day beards. Keeps the skin underneath the beard very soft and moisturized, which is very important for, I would say, regrowth, but just growing in general, just your general beard health. So yeah, this is a really nice luxury to have. So once that's on, I use this beard oil as well. So this is this particular brand here, Bulldog, and it's just made from aloe. So this is like an aloe vera green tea beard moisturizer. And this oil here, it just keeps the hair soft. For anyone that's currently growing their beard back from shaving it completely, like I am, it is going to be a bit itchy in week 2. So this beard oil really just gets that itch away, just keeps it really comfortable and soothed. So yeah, a beard oil. So I've got my 3 razors there, got my moisturizer and a nice bit of beard oil. That's really the overall kind of skincare and beard routine. So onto some techniques I picked up along the way. So when I say technique, I mean things that really help those of you suffering from alopecia barbae. It can just tidy up the beard a lot and it'll make you less self-conscious in any of those particularly prominent patches. What I do is I take this travel trimmer. This one is really great just for taking out little patches, and what will happen is my beard will grow the same rate as it always has in the other places that are not affected. So what you'll get is next to this patch here, which as you can see does continue to heal and grow and regrow. So I'm very lucky with this patch here. But what will happen is the hair here will grow thick and dark right next to the patch. So what that can do is really highlight that patch. So all I do in that case is I take this little tidier, I'll take down the hair just immediately next to the patch, immediately around the patch. And with this one, the multi-level trimmer, you can just take that down a few notches shorter than what you would have regularly next to it. So it just really nicely blends over that patch, makes it less prominent. So I did film a video for you guys yesterday. This is basically a redo of that one. But in that video I was talking about how once I finished recording, I was going to go and do the blending technique because I did notice on camera this patch was getting a bit more prominent. And if that's happening to you guys, don't worry. It doesn't mean the patches are getting bigger. Just keep in mind that the rest of your beard will continue to grow around that patch. And I must stress that this is really for those guys that are a little bit further along in your progress, because I wouldn't have been able to do this even when I was doing my first video to you guys, so that was just before Christmas. I have seen significant regrowth since then, and it's just been like, I don't know, almost 2 years. So July 2020, that's going to be the 2-year point for me since having this condition. So I'm hoping by July 2020, the 2-year mark, that I'm going to see just the best possible regrowth, just continuing that trend. As I have said to you in the past though guys, anything can happen with this condition. I've heard people commenting to me saying they had great regrowth until another patch appeared. So it really is, I describe this as a peak and trough, a bit of a roller coaster ride when it comes to it. but all I know for me personally is I've been riding this thing out. I've been very, very patient. I've changed up my diet. I've had a few comments lately talking about an anti-inflammatory or autoimmune disorder diet that you can do, and I'm actually going to be doing a video soon on that, guys, so stay tuned for that. So there you have it. This has really been a video to talk about my personal preferences when it comes to shaving, and it's really just to address some that some folks have said, oh, you shouldn't be shaving the white hairs, you shouldn't be doing that because it's going to inhibit your growth. I know it's a bit of a myth that when you shave your beard grows back thicker. That is definitely a myth. But what I can say is every shave I've done that I've completely taken away the vellus hairs, they've grown back longer on the next cycle. Again, probably just coinciding with my regrowth anyway, but it is something I've noticed. They have not got shorter, they've not been growing slower, they've not had any negative effect at all. They just are growing now to blend in more with the beard. And at this point, guys, I am 33 years old, so I am fully aware I'm most likely going to get some grey in my beard. And at this point, I really don't care. As long as there's hair in those patches, I don't really mind what colour it is. You know, we're all here on this channel together, just really ready to embrace any kind of regrowth. So let that be a little message to you guys. If you get white hair and it stays white for a while, it's not the end of the world. You have hair growing back, and that's really what we can focus on. So thank you once again for watching, guys. I truly appreciate your comments down below. I've really enjoyed communicating with a lot of you guys, seeing a lot of talking amongst yourselves as well. It's really nice to see because it's really good, again, not just for you guys to be able to watch me talking about my experiences and knowing that you're not alone with this condition, but it's also nice for me to go and see just how many people are affected by this condition and to hear your comments, be able to give you advice and be able to tell you where I am at and what I've done up to this point. So it really works both ways, guys. I'm here to help you and you are really helping me too. So until the next video, guys, look after yourselves. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you very shortly. Cheers.